Welcome to the world of the Demolition Derby, a whacked-out motorsport for car-bashing aficionados.
A Demolition Derby is survival of the fittest.
It's rough. It's tough.
Demolition Derby is just utter chaos. It's amazing. Cars flying around, smashing everywhere, smoke, antifreeze, unbelievable.
It's every frustrated motorist's dream. The object of this game is not just to win, but to survive.
Oh, hell, that's gonna hurt.
So buckle your seatbelts for the ride of your life. We're taking you behind the scenes, from the track to the tricks to the post-collision crunches. We'll show you how these machines make it and break it in the outrageous world of the Demolition Derby. Demolition Derbies. They're car-crunching contests where the goal is to destroy your opponent at all costs and be the last one standing when the dust clears. The cars are tricked up to the hilt, but by the end of the derby, they're often nothing more than piles of mashed-up metal. It's a sport that's got it all: bone-shaking, metal-breaking, down and dirty fun. Derbies distill racing down to just the crashes, and that's exactly why the sport was born. To provide fans with the thrills of a car wreck without the high-speed danger of a typical road race. There are over 5,000 derbies across the country, and millions of fans travel all across America to attend these events each year. For the drivers, it's a chance to let off steam.
It is an unbelievable aggression release. You can go out and smash the tar out of somebody. It's unbelievable.
Derby locations run the gamut from small outdoor arenas to the big stadiums, packing in tens of thousands of fans. Right now, it's off to Pecatonica, Illinois, in the heartland of America. Today, this small hamlet is hosting Metal Mayhem, the Midwest's most maniacal demolition derby. 128 of the best demolition drivers in the nation rumble towards the Winnebago County Fairgrounds to compete for a total purse of $60,000. The champion will walk away with 15 grand, but the towering trophy is what motivates many drivers.
Money's money. You can't take it with you when you die, can you? It's just something to spend. Yeah, big 6-foot trophy, and that's going to be going through my mind.
Metal Mayhem is a stock car derby, which means that in order to qualify, drivers can only run cars built with parts from the same model of car. And they can't strengthen their vehicles by welding the frame seams together.
A lot of places, when you're allowed to modify your car, you're allowed to weld your frames, you're allowed to plate your frames, you're allowed to do extra than what the factory did, okay? A stock event typically is an event where the car itself stays stock. With your bumpers, your support in your radiator, without getting too technical, your body mounts and everything, they need to be stocked the way that they came from the factory.
Hours before the preliminary derbies kick off, the cars line up bumper to bumper for a thorough once-over by Metal Mayhem's inspectors.
We're looking for like welded on the seams, a change welded where it wasn't supposed to be, blocks behind ball joints, stuff like that.
It's the inspector's job to make sure that none of the drivers tries to sneak an illegally modified vehicle into this stock car event.
That's a gobble weld right there. That is not factory.
The rules are made to be broken, and the drivers will often test the limits of the law book to get an edge on the track.
You gotta do just that little extra that other guys might not think of, you know? Maybe it's bolting the vehicle down a little bit extra, or putting a little weld here, a little weld there, where the judges might not see it.
But these judges are not easily fooled.
You're gonna have to take these off. I can't take the spacers out of it because you can't have those.
We're just trying to keep it all fair and on the same level playing field here for the rest of the guys.
While the inspections continue, the grounds crew prepares the actual playing field, a rectangular dirt track about the size of a football field. It's plowed in the same manner that a farmer plows his land.
Basically, it's like if you were in a field and you had to mow hay, you have to turn that hay over to get the other underside dry. And that's what they're doing out there right now.
Turning the dirt over helps to keep the traction on the track under control. The track is also bordered by dozens of huge concrete blocks to keep the cars from careening outside of the playing field. With the venue prepped and inspections over, promoter Ron Perrine calls all the drivers to the tower to go over the rules of the road.
I want to thank you guys for coming out. It's a good showing.
Ron hopes that the big prize money will help keep the drivers in line.
There's $60,000 in the total purse. It's not an everyday race. This ain't a county fair. We ain't gonna treat you like queens. If you think you've been shorted, cheated, or mistreated, find somebody shoulder to cry and don't come to me.
Ron lays out the golden rules of derby driving. If any of them are broken, the judges can choose to disqualify the drivers. One of the most important rules involves sandbagging. That's when the contestants drive around the track for minutes at a time without making a hit. The hope for the drivers is to play the game without putting much wear and tear on their cars. But fans are there to see hits, so Ron gives sandbaggers the scarlet letter treatment.
We are gonna walk up to your vehicle. I don't care what color paint can I got in my hand, you're gonna get a big X. If I put that X on your can, that tells everybody else in that heat, that feature, that whole race, that you were sandbagging. Chances are they might want to hit you.
That one warning, then you're out, or how's that work?
No, we aren't going to kick you out. We want you in there.
Another important rule is no hitting on the driver's door.
I think that's the most important rule in a demo, is not to hit on a driver's door. We don't want somebody to plow into us at 20 miles an hour and bust our ribs.
Holding another car against the wall while a buddy hits it is also illegal. So now that the rules are laid out, there's nothing to do but get it on.
All right, Ed, let's get ready to rumble, buddy. Let's go to work.
Calling the action for the fans in the stands is public address announcer Ed Decker.
A lot of cars here, drivers from all over the country. There's a lot of primo iron that's going to get bent up for your enjoyment and their competition. 3, 2, 1,
The preliminaries are now underway. Each of the 8 preliminary heats at Metal Mayhem contains about 16 cars. The last 5 still moving at the end of the heat will qualify for the final or feature event. The last car running at the end of the feature wins the big prize. For the drivers, strategy is key to staying in the game.
I don't do anything real aggressive right away. I feel out the track. I feel what I can do or what I can do on the track, how my car reacts to it, and then I'll act accordingly.
But not being aggressive can lead to sandbagging, and Ron finds his first offender. Car number 199 has been sitting on the track way too long, and in a derby, that's not allowed.
Hey, I'm about ready to put an X if he don't get busy. He's doing a lot of dancing, but he ain't got no partner.
It looks like the crowd wants this sandbagger singled out too, so an official spray paints a nice big X for all the other drivers to aim for.
Rod Hodge is getting the green X of sandbagging.
Now the other drivers have car number 199 in their crosshairs. But if you're gonna get hit, it's best to stay away from the concrete walls.
The wall is not a good place to be by.
You get close to these barriers on the outside with the concrete barriers, you're just going to get buried.
Whoa, right by the stand.
The driver of this blue car learns about the barriers the hard way. Now he's out of action.
He's a dead dog. Count him out, we got 5. 82 is out, we have 5. Hey, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's get busy. Let's go. Well, that got money. Hey, 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 get back. Heads up, heads up. Heads up. You gotta be nimble on your feet if you're gonna be up there.
Now the action is becoming fast and furious as car number 57, driven by Marvin Neal, goes on the attack. His prey is car number 11.
Somebody got upset. That wagon is not happy with the system.
Pretty soon, number 11, driven by Patrick Schutte, looks for revenge. After the race is over, you'd think these two would want to kill each other. But the bad blood is quickly forgotten.
That was good. I set you up pretty good in the front, didn't I?
As the prelims reach the halfway point, the track gets drier and drier, which increases the car's traction. Now they are reaching serious speeds of 25 to 30 miles an hour, and the field's becoming a dangerous place. Sure, the crowd loves it, but after this heat, Ron intends to wet down the surface to slow these cars down. Because the track and the driving can be hazardous, there's always a team of firemen and EMTs at the ready in case of emergency. Up to now, the safety crew hasn't had much to do. About the worst that's happened is a couple of cases of heat exhaustion.
Take a peek at that driver and make sure he's okay.
But soon, a major situation unfolds. The number 7 car hits number 25 square on the passenger door, rolling the car and its driver over on its back. EMT and fireman Gary Laro springs into action.
First thing I'm doing, I'm looking for the guy, see where he's at in the car, if he's hanging upside down, if he's on his way out. But we had this rollover, the guy was on his way out. I went up to him right away, being an EMT, I checked him out.
Amazingly, the driver, Pete Schmidt, crawls out without a scratch, but he's not happy. The track is too dry and it's getting treacherous.
Put some water in the Derby. Unless you want somebody killed. Get in the goddamn bleachers. Yeah, right.
The grounds crew flips the car over, and instead of going into the bleachers, Pete gets back into the driver's seat. Unbelievably, the car still runs. Not only is Pete back on track, but car number 7 knocked itself out when it hit Pete's car, allowing Pete to qualify for the feature.
I was down there to 56th place. The guy who hit me dropped the drive shaft, so that helped me.
After all this excitement, Ron finally sprays some water on the parched track, and the cars are off and running again.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
The next heat features a type of car that drivers call the Sedagon. This one's driven by Ohio driver Scott Zizelman. The car is half sedan, half wagon, and all muscle.
Here comes Zizelman, Scott Zizelman at 00. That actually is a wagon. It's been tucked down, the roof has been tucked down and fastened to the frame.
When Sedagon drivers prepare for a derby, they pre-bend the metal, which makes the car tougher and allows it to withstand more punishment. And this makes the car quite controversial. Some drivers consider pre-bending modifying, and they don't feel that the car should be allowed in the game.
The whole back end of the car is folded in. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't think that was a stock car. As far as it being a stock race, that car shouldn't even be allowed to race here.
But the car is stock, and the rules of this derby allow Sedagons to compete. And although some drivers scream sour grapes, others say more power to them.
Hey, you got to come up with new ideas all the time in this sport, and it's all about being innovative and making something tougher and making it last longer.
Today, Scott and his controversial wagon are having their way on the track.
And now Zizelman and Schmidt are going back to back. Schmidt up in the air. Scott Zizelman 00 as he just tags Schutte.
There are a lot of big hits in this heat, but none bigger than the one Rod Tucker takes in car number 35.
But he just gets pounded by Henson. Got a little bit of fire underneath the 35 of Rod Tucker. Word has it that he took coolant right to the face. A radiator hose let go.
Rod will be okay, but his car won't. He's busted his radiator, and that spells the end of his day. But Scott Zizelman and his Sedagon are one of the last 5 in the heat. So he's among the 44 lucky drivers who will move on to tomorrow's final event. But these guys face a huge challenge before the race because they're not allowed to work on their mangled cars till morning.
You won't take a battery till you won't change a lug nut. You won't even pick up a piece of wire that fell off.
And judging by the look of these messed up machines, getting them prepped in time will take every minute they've got. Coming up, find out which one of these drivers is able to do the best job banging his car back into shape. Then, get in the driver's seat for the East's baddest modified demolition derby. And later, discover the crazy world of the novelty events.
If you like your world's best good enough to eat, these food factories will really hit the spot. From Krispy Kremes to Coca-Cola, it's one high-calorie countdown. Then, stuff yourself silly. The Travel Channel's got the world's top 10 chow-down showdowns. You'll never look at a hot dog the same way again. World's best top 10 fun food factories and top 10 eating contests. Wednesday starting at 9 on the Travel Channel.
Calling all cooks. The Travel Channel's serving up a fresh batch of Epicurious shows. Join Michael LaMonaco and Barbara Alvarez for all new appetizing episodes of Epicurious. Tomorrow morning at 10, only on the Travel Channel.
We should change before we pick up the girls. Okay.
Chevy Avalanche. It changes from a pickup to an SUV.
What are you doing?
Avalanche, like a rock.
Oh, there's Carlina. She has never taken a single sick day. tougher. How you handle a tough cold says a lot about you.
Last week, all of Small Appliances was out with a nasty cold, but not Carlina.
What's Carlina's secret? Tylenol Cold Severe Congestion. It provides triple action nasal, chest, and head relief.
Attention, the October employee of the month, Carlina.
Tylenol Cold Severe Congestion.
So, set up a department meeting for tomorrow and put in a call to client. Get them up to speed. Anything else?
Here's a thought. Instead of saving money by not using paper, we could just go to Staples.
Yeah, with Staples 365 savings, they compare prices and back it up with a 110% price match guarantee.
I like that. Jot that down.
Low prices on every item every day. Staples 365 savings. Savings made easy.
So if I ran an online trading company, here's the way it would work. You'd make your trade, you pay the fee, the standard fee. No order handling fees or share limitations. I guess I'd run it like Ameritrade.
At Ameritrade, every online equity trade is $10.99, including stop and limit orders. No handling fees, no share limits, no gimmicks. Ameritrade, what's your share? Open an account at Ameritrade.com today and get 25 commission-free internet equity trades, and you could be trading the same day you apply.
They were some of the worst aviation disasters in history. What went wrong and why? Join the Travel Channel as we search for the cause. Tuesday, from human factors to mechanical failure, we'll reveal how accident investigators unlock the mystery of airplane crashes. Could these tragedies have been prevented? Find out on Travel Channel Secrets. The premiere of Probable Cause begins Tuesday at 9, only on the Travel Channel. We're back with more Travel Channel Presents.
We're at Metal Mayhem in Pecatonica, Illinois, the Midwest's most destructive demolition derby. Fans from all over America's heartland have flocked to the Winnebago County Fairgrounds to watch these souped-up stock cars collide for a chance to win $15,000. The prelims have ended, and the field has been whittled down from 128 cars to 44. Now the real work begins as drivers and their crews whack their crashed-up cars back into shape for today's final derby, the feature event. Driver Jeff James is in the pits and working on car number 144.
Hey, Maria, go in the back, grab me underneath the trailer, grab me a gallon can of water. I'm ready to burn this car down.
Jeff and his wife Maria traveled to this derby all the way from New York City. They are the only members of their pit crew.
Just me, pretty much, and whatever help I can get along the way, you know, and Maria, whatever she can do. I think I'm going to have to teach Maria how to start welding, so that'll help me a little bit on the road.
They are at a severe disadvantage compared to the rest of the competitors who often have family members on hand to help out.
Once you get into the country, everyone's got about, 8, 10, 12, 14 children, so then they're all grown up. And once that happens, everyone's working on their cars.
The pits are a flurry of activity as Jeff and the rest of the drivers feverishly try to bend their cars back into shape. Driver Andy McDonald in car number 6 has his work cut out for him.
I hope my car wouldn't be as bad as it is, but not much I can do about it now. So have to do what we can do.
If Andy wants to stay in the game, he's going to have to follow the rules. Each car will be inspected before the feature, so no driver can reinforce his car by welding the frame together, because that's considered a modification.
Yesterday we went through all these cars with a fine-tooth comb. Today we're looking for heat marks, welds on the frame.
I looked right down inside the frame and still clean it. Looks just like this one.
I don't think that guy would cheat after he's already in the feature.
I don't think they were welded last night.
No.
As the fans fill the stands, Joe and his team of inspectors get through all of the 44 cars that qualified for the feature. All of them pass inspection. Even the car that everyone is on the lookout for, Scott Zizelman's infamous Sedagon. The tension builds as the drivers wait for the derby to begin.
A little nervous, but I think we all are. There's a lot of guys that have been at it a while and a lot of competition here. I'm thinking there's too many cars out here. There's a lot of cars here in this track. Small track for this many cars.
And just make it to the end. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go.
Finally, it's time for the event the drivers and the crowd have been waiting for.
We are ready for action. Let's count them down, people. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Metal Mayhem 2002.
At the start of the feature, the track is packed to the hilt. Then, slowly but surely, the Mad Machines start making some room.
Andy Hansen going to work on the back of that wagon. Just changed the 144 wagon, still going strong. Whoa, what a shot on those 57 cars. Get the fans back from the wall. Get the fans back from the wall. Andy Hansen with another big hit. Scott Sisselman still going at it.
After about 20 minutes of action, the field is down to drivers Jeremy Litcher and Scott Sisselman. Sisselman's crushing blow cripples Jeremy's red sedan. And in the end, it's his controversial Sedagon that navigates the sea of dead cars to victory. Scott is all smiles as the promoters present him with a giant check with 15 grand.
I'm going to motel and sleep. Yeah, with $15,000 and a hell of a trophy.
But suddenly there's a hitch, and Sisselman may lose his victory. It seems some of the drivers think he wasn't playing fair, and he has to pass one more inspection.
We've been told the guy is, we think he's cheated.
The second place car definitely has a considerable gripe if he wants to get this guy disqualified.
We're going to find out. We're raising it up now, me and Joe. They think the shocks are not original shocks, factory shocks. They've been made. So that's what we're looking for.
If the inspectors find evidence that Scott illegally tricked up his wagon, he'll be driving back to Ohio with nothing. But all Scott sees are sore losers.
And I modified this and modified that and welded this and welded that. Just typical derby stuff. I mean, you know, you have it at every derby you go to. The people that don't win cry and complain about everybody else's cars.
Unfortunately, the other drivers may be onto something.
Okay, we got a problem back here. Jerry?
Inspector Joe Schmidt isn't convinced Scott's shock absorbers are stock. So he's having Scott cut one in half to prove that they're really from the factory.
He's gonna cut his own frame. Cut his own shock. Watch yourself.
After a few tense minutes, the inspectors have their answer. Everything's on the level.
Congratulations, you passed, so you can got your money.
A close call, but Scott gets to keep the check and the trophy. So that's the end of Metal Mayhem, and some of these drivers are going to have to find a new set of wheels if they want to compete in another derby. Finding the perfect car is just as much a part of the game as the event itself.
If I had to drive to New Mexico for this car, from northeast Wisconsin to New Mexico, maybe 1,500, 1,800 miles one way.
It's a long way to drive for a car, but there's a reason. Warm weather.
A Southern Iron car versus a rusty car, there's no comparison.
The best place to get a car is somewhere not in the snow belt. You got to drop down below the Ohio River Valley, because you get into that region and the cars are not rusty like they are up here in the northern states. Wisconsin and Illinois and Michigan uses a lot of salt on the roads, so they rust real bad up here.
Finding a rust-free car can take derby enthusiasts like Ryan Schutte far from home. And home for Ryan is Monroe, Wisconsin, where he and his many brothers and sisters are considered the local legends of derby driving. Ryan has 16 siblings, all with derby blood flowing through their veins.
And we all run the number of car that the number of kid we are. There's 17 kids in our family. So my brother runs number 17, I run number 16. My brother that was born 4th in our family runs the 4. So it's kind of a family-run demo team.
Today they are welcoming home Patrick, brother number 11. He's arriving from Kentucky with a new derby car, or fresh meat as it's known in the business.
Hey guys. Hey, how was the trip? Good trip. Long but good.
Nice
car.
Car.
Good.
Yeah. See a little surface rust on her. You might have a little rust, but she's a rock.
Hey, save it for the demo.
Hey.
Patrick's 1973 Chevy Impala is from the golden age of the derby car. In fact, finding a car built before 1977 is a must for drivers because back then they were made without airbags or crumple zones, just solid metal, and that's what wins on a derby track. But what's the secret to getting these cars ready for action?
The first step always in Demolition Derby is going to be to strip the car. Get all the windows out of it, get all the seats out of it, and remove everything out of the car.
I think we're ready to pop it.
think so.
Yep.
Feel good. The bottom's totally loose. Did you get the top good?
Hold on, Ryan. I'll get in there with you.
They knock out the glass because shards breaking during a demo could cause injury to both the fans and the drivers. Tori removes the front window carefully, but for the back right, he prefers the old-fashioned method.
Sometimes when you get a little frustrated and you don't feel like taking all the time to take the bolts out, you can get some good old frustration out by just smashing. Oh! Ah! Oh my! The world's strongest window!
As a carpenter. One hand. Carpenter.
The shooties also remove any flammable materials.
All the carpet and seats and the dash and any plastic, anything at all can start on fire because at the end of the heat, engine is just flaring hot.
Then they remove the dash because it's flammable too.
So we usually get the largest man available. Oh, Tori, you're gonna have to get up there.
Watch out, Pat.
As a safety precaution, they also remove the gas tank, replacing it with a smaller one.
We use boat tanks, which are metal and a little more sturdy, so you don't have to worry about them. One of the safest places is right behind the driver's seat because they can't hit the driver's door.
Then the battery must be moved to the passenger side of the car's interior.
The battery has to be relocated because it's up in the front corner of the car, and the first shot you'd take, somebody'd bust that battery in half and you'd have no power to your vehicle.
The next step is to build a safety cage to protect the driver. Tori uses 4 strong 4-inch wide metal pipes to box in the driver and reinforce the front of the car. Remember Metal Mayhem? Well, here's what the cage did for Tori. He's in the number 16 car, and while his back is turned, he's smashed by car number 333. His body is flung around the car like a pinball, but the cage holds and he's fine. Safety is one thing, but when you're putting a derby car together, it's got to stand out in the crowd. That's where the shooty women come in.
The women always paint the demo cars for the guys. Sometimes they don't have any ideas, so we make up our own.
Do the 1 all the way down, and then the 7. They have to be able to see it from the stand. That's how you do it big.
So now this car has been stripped, torched, cut, and painted. All that's left to do is to drive it down to the Derby for some hard-hitting fun. Coming up, we'll show you how promoters put on a crash-banging event. And then, fasten your seatbelts. It's the trailer race of destruction.
Next Sunday, hit the Strip with Penn and Teller as they host Vegas Week on the Travel Channel. It all starts at 8 when high rollers reveal their secrets for telling a sure thing from a sucker bet. At 9, you'll be bowled over by a true royal flush as we count down the best bathrooms in Vegas. And at 10, join some of the world's greatest eaters for our first ever Vegas Battle of the Buffets. Cash in with a night of all new Vegas shows when Vegas Week kicks off. Next Sunday night starting at 8, only on the Travel Channel.
Cooking pasta is easy, but when it's time to drain, it's a pain. Stop. Introducing Pasta Pot Express, the perfect all-in-one cook, strain, and drain pasta pot. Watch. Just cook your favorite pasta, lock on the Pasta Pot Express drain and strain lid, and in seconds you've strained and drained right through its built-in locking colander pot top. It's that simple. The Pasta Pot Super Non-Stick Surface lets you make rigatoni and cheese that's sure to please. And since nothing sticks, clean up a breeze. And it's not just a pasta pot. Now you can brown a pot roast and drain the fat with ease. You can brown and drain chopped meat for the tastiest tacos ever. Watch. Preparing potatoes has never been easier. 5 pounds of carrots are cooked and drained right through the locking lid. There's no better way to cook pounds of pasta plus all your favorite dishes than with the Pasta Pot Express. Order your Cook, Drain, and Strain Pasta Pot Express with deluxe color recipe guide filled with delicious, easy recipes direct for only $14.99. Hold on to your phone. Order now and receive the personal size Pasta Pot Express with the locking straining lid plus the
the perfect pasta spoon, the perfect cheese grater, great soft cheese, hard cheese, absolutely anything you please. Plus, the amazing hand chopper that cuts prep time in half. This entire gift pack is free. Pay only shipping and handling. That's right. Order direct and get the Pasta Pot Express with the deluxe recipe guide. Order the Pasta Pot Express for only $14.99. Order now.
To order your Pasta Pot Express gift pack, have your credit card ready and call this toll-free number. Or send your check or money order to the address on your screen. You can also use your checking account just like a credit card. Just have your account number ready when you call. Pasta Pot Express is only $14.99 plus shipping and handling. For your convenience, to order online or to check out other fine products and special offers, check out our website at tvinventions.com.
He is deadly. And he is still surrounded by frickin' idiots.
Release the meteor!
Whoa! A dangerous mission.
Where can I find this gold member? 1975.
A foxy partner.
I'm Foxy Cleopatra, and I'm a whole lot of woman. Damn!
Now, it's time to face the truth. Austin Powers in Gold Member. Playing this month on Dish on Demand, pay-per-view.
The choice to live an ordinary life is no longer an option.
Spider-Man.
What do we got? Big Bad Mojo.
Men in Black 2.
Gold member.
Dad! Hello, son.
Sit down!
I am a sexy beast.
Austin Powers in Gold Member. Take a break from routine TV. Order a pay-per-view movie from Dish on Demand. We're back with more Travel Channel Presents.
The world of Demolition Derbies is all about orchestrating the most car-crunching, adrenaline-pumping event around. And from the track prep to the concession stands, it's up to the promoter to make sure the cars and the crowds keep coming back for more. Today we're in Greensburg, Pennsylvania, where Tim Jumper is putting on the Destruction Productions Demolition Derby. This one's a modified derby, and unlike the cars at a stock event, drivers are allowed to mix and match parts from almost any car possible, like putting a Cadillac engine in a Chrysler Imperial body. Altering the cars means they can withstand more damage. This makes for more exciting impacts, and bigger impacts make for a knockout show, and that's what every promoter wants.
What I've done as a promoter to make it more exciting to the fans is to allow the drivers to build the cars a little stronger than what most places do, so the cars hit harder and last longer.
At Tim's event, there will be 70 drivers competing for a total purse of $10,000. The winner will get $5 grand and the biggest trophy in the bunch. In the pits, drivers like Tom Merrill make last-minute adjustments before the preliminaries. They've already reinforced all the parts they can, including the wheels.
And we doubled them up, tubed, glued, valve stem screws in them to prevent them from slippage. You're all allowed to do that here. Some of the events you're not. Modified you are.
They've also strengthened the doors.
The doors welded shut, 3-inch wide strap over everything, all the way around. Stiffens the car up tremendously.
These cars are built like monsters, but drivers take great care to make them as safe as possible. They know they're here to get hit, and with multiple hits comes the risk of injury.
Most common injuries for the Demolition Derby would be cuts, scrapes, but the injuries can also be as severe as maybe possibly a broken bone, can also get a spinal injury, head or neck injury, depending on the hit.
Because accidents do happen, wearing a helmet and a safety harness is mandatory. And as in a stock derby, there's a protective cage on every car. Back in the pits, Inspector Frankie Guy makes the rounds to ensure that the drivers follow all the safety codes.
Again, the safety issues, the tranny cooler, that the proper lines are hooked up, the gas tank's correctly bolted down and looks good, the battery box is bolted.
Passing the inspection is key because if the car fails, not only are the drivers kicked out of the event, but they're also out the registration fee and maybe even the cost of their car.
Guys have $1,500, $2 grand tied up in these cars between the engines, the tires, welding, and purchasing a car originally, so they're out a lot of money.
But the drivers shell out the bucks for a reason. partake in some heavy-hitting entertainment, and hopefully win the grand prize. As the promoter, Tim's responsible for raising the prize money.
Go buy some T-shirts, buy all kind of stuff. Help the promoter out. He's broke. A lot of derbies, the purse is based on just the entry fees of the driver, but if you add up the number of cars and the entry fees, we fall well short of the purse.
That's why promoters need to think up interesting ways to bring in the cash. And Tim has come up with a few crowd pleasers to fill up the grandstands. Here, a compact derby that takes place before the prelims begin kicks off the festivities with a bang. The compact derby is exactly the same as a regular derby, except the cars are smaller. Because of their size, they can accelerate faster and cause greater damage. It's like a grown-up game of bumper cars, and the fans love it.
The compact derby is becoming one of my favorite derbies. A lot of these big cars for the modified class are getting pretty hard to come by, and the average Joe can't afford to build a car of that caliber. So I brought out the compact class because a lot of these small cars are readily available. They're all over the place.
In this race, it's clear that there's one man among the boys, and that's Jim Malloy in car number 36. Jim Malloy wins the Derby and the $500 prize, but he won't take his car into the ring against the big boys because a compact is no match for a full-size. As day turns to night, the fans are definitely revved up. Now, Tim kicks the event into high gear. It's time for the first of 4 preliminary heats. These drivers compete for 16 coveted spots in the feature. The first 2 heats come to an end, and 8 drivers have qualified for the feature. But when the prelims are over, there'll be room for 1 more. There's going to be a raffle tonight, and the winner gets to drive a rough and ready derby car in the feature.
It's a fully prepared 72 Chevy station wagon that anybody can buy a $10 ticket for and have a chance to compete in the feature event. A chance to win $5,000.
As the final heats get underway, drivers Tom Merrill in car number 104 and Mark Siopa in car number 001 look to be a cut above the rest. They're going to be tough competition for whoever comes away with the raffle car. In between heats, Tim announces the winning number.
Okay, here it goes. All right. Here we go. Okay, guys. 894810.
The lucky winner is Chris Quenzler.
It's the first time I ever won anything like this. Okay, we actually bought, me and a buddy split 3 tickets, and our other buddy held the ticket. That was the winner, and we had to flip a coin to see who would get to drive the car, and I won.
Well, you're set. It's got tractor tires on. It's going to dig in.
Drive it like
3-quart
you
rad.
stole it.
You're all set.
Okay, buddy.
Run it hard.
Thank you.
Do me good. All right.
Winning the raffle is only half the battle. Now he'll have to get in the ring and fight it out with the 15 other qualified drivers. But as the feature begins, the contestants are confronted with an even tougher opponent. Rain, rain, and more rain. And as the dirt turns into mud, this derby turns into a real sticky situation. When we come back, find out who's able to slosh his way into the winner's circle, and later discover what happens to these mangled machines after the race is over.
Want to see how the rich really live? Thursday, the Travel Channel's going to give you a sneak peek inside America's poshest pads. We'll visit Vegas mansions that give even the glitziest casinos a run for their money. Then, take a private tour of these custom-built castles Hollywood stars call home. They're the hottest properties in Destination USA. Vegas VIP Homes, Hollywood Real Estate. Premieres Thursday night at 9, only on the Travel Channel.
Want a truly thoughtful holiday gift for under $15? Then take a look at this. Grip Wrench is the new household tool with 100 practical uses. Use it all around the house to make simple work of everyday tasks. With the Grip Wrench, you'll never need to ask for help. Big jars, small jars, mini jars, any jars. The secret is the unique gripping action combined with the power of the handle, which gives you the strength to open, loosen, or tighten all in one easy motion. The Grip Wrench gives you all the strength you'll need to do it yourself, quick and easy. It's powerful enough to budge this rusty spigot and safe enough for this antique fixture. It grips without damaging the surface. If you've ever broken a nail or scraped a knuckle with the wrong-sized wrench, then the Grip Wrench is for you. Odd-sized jobs require odd-sized wrenches. The Grip Wrench is the one tool that makes life a little easier. It takes the guesswork out of simple home repairs. It's perfect under the sink or above for fixtures and fittings. It's a must-have in the shop, whether you're working on the car, truck, or holiday toys, and it will pay for itself over and over again. Call now and get the Grip Wrench for only $14.99. But that's not all. We'll also include the mini Grip Wrench for smaller jobs, a $10 value, yours free. Don't sweat the small stuff. You get both wrenches for just $14.99. But if you call right now, we'll include the Grip Socket, a $20 value, absolutely free. It fits any size nut or bolt and works with any standard ratchet or drill, even metric. No tool chest should be without it. That means you get all this, a whopping $50 value, all for just $14.99. It's a truly thoughtful holiday gift for everyone on your list, all for less than $15. So grab your Grip Wrench right now.
To order Grip Wrench, call 1-800-385-5599. That's 1-800-385-5599. Or send a check or money order to the address listed. So call 1-800-385-5599.
On an all-new episode of Monster Garage, Kyle Petty's Winston Cup race car is about to get monster-fied.
I didn't envision this.
As Jesse tries to make this race car suck.
They get you in some trouble.
And the king himself pays a royal visit to the Monster Mayhem.
That was a nice race car when y'all started. Yeah. I want to go fast. Y'all go back to work now, man. Our break time's over.
On an all-new Monster Garage. Tomorrow at 8 Eastern and Pacific, only on the Discovery Channel.
Finally, a formula that really works. Stamina RX. Stamina RX is the most potent sexual stimulant for men in the world. Gentlemen, if you're not performing to your full potential, then this is the product you've been looking for. No other sexual stimulant on the market can make you feel like this. In 30 minutes, you can be 18 again. Increase your size and make your endurance skyrocket. It's the strongest natural sexual stimulant on the market without the side effects. Stamina RX works well for people with diabetes and impotence. To order Stamina RX, call toll-free at 888-745-9538.
You provide for your family, but can you afford enough life insurance to make sure they're provided for in the future? Yes, you can. Over 1 million Americans have already discovered the secret to affordable life insurance. Best quote, a man 35 can purchase $400,000 in term life coverage for about $15 a month, or less than 50 cents a day.
The best way to buy insurance for less. Best quote.
Call 1-800-253-4000. That's 1-800-253-4000.
When something's this hot, this wild, this lucky, only 2 words can describe it. Vegas, baby. Starting January 12th, the Travel Channel brings you the best of the Strip on Vegas Week. It's the ultimate insider's look, hosted by Sin City's own Penn and Teller. For all new Vegas shows all week long, cash in with Vegas Week. Starts Sunday, January 12th, only on the Travel Channel. We're back with more Travel Channel Presents.
It's time for the final race at Destruction Productions' Demolition Derby. 16 drivers and their tricked-up cars have made it through the preliminary rounds, and they're competing to win the $5,000 grand prize. One driver has been lucky to make it straight into the feature. It's Chris Quenzler, who won the right by drawing the lucky number at the raffle held at the end of the qualifying heat. He'll now have to fight it out with the big boys. But as the drivers hit the track, it starts to pour. And the event becomes a battle for survival, not only against the other contestants, but against the muddy track as well. The downpour means that Jeff James and his fellow drivers have to change their strategies.
A lot of times on a surface that when it's been raining all night like it has been, your wheels are spinning a lot faster, okay? And you're not getting as much traction. So believe it or not, you have to worry about gas mileage. And you're only allowed to have between 5 and 6 gallons of gas. So whoever has the best gas mileage sometimes might win these races.
To help conserve gas, the drivers deflate their tires a small amount. This helps the wheels grab the slick track and improves gas mileage. For a while, Chris Quenzler, the raffle winner, holds his own against the pros on the slushy surface. But soon, the war of attrition thins the herd down to a precious few. And the remaining cars battle it out. It's now down to Mark Siopa in the 1964 Red Imperial and Steve Schaefer in the blue and yellow 1973 Olds Wagner. They are literally running on fumes, but Mark has just enough gas in his tank to make the last hit. Since Steve is unable to continue, Mark is declared the winner.
And then your winner is Mark Siopa.
Number one tonight! Look at this big boy, huh? Woo! Hey, did a damn good job. Busted your can out there. You did good, man. Good.
Mark knows he couldn't have done it without his team.
My pit crew is the best around. We did it all. A little bit muddy out here, but we did it.
As for our raffle car driver, competing in the Derby was definitely a humbling experience.
They were hitting hard. I got whacked around a couple times. My neck's sore, but I had a lot of fun.
Weather aside, the Derby is a success. But for promoter Tim Jumper, the day is far from over.
I was up at 5:30. We'll probably be finishing up here midnight, 2 a.m., who knows. And by then we got to break everything else down, load everything up. I probably won't get home till 3 o'clock, and by the time I unhook the trailers and such, it'll probably be 4 o'clock before I get to bed tonight.
That's what being a Derby promoter is all about, organizing a well-oiled event chock full of crashes. And thanks to promoters like Tim, the popularity of the Derby is skyrocketing. It's even reached the point where drivers of all kinds of vehicles are getting into the action. These peculiar events are aptly called novelty derbies. The most extreme novelty event is the motorcycle demo derby. When these rides have outlived their usefulness, bikers hold a big going away party where they basically run them into the ground. These contests are half demo derby and half professional wrestling. After a winner is chosen, it's not uncommon for a brawl to break out, and it's all part of the game. On the other end of the spectrum, you'll find the heavy-hitting Combine Derby. It's by far the strangest and most colorful event on the circuit. When these vehicles have outlived their usefulness on the farm, drivers ride them onto the Derby field.
Entering the arena, your Harvest Queens. So you give a big hand, your Harvest Queens.
Although these vehicles may look strange, the strategy on the track is the same as any derby.
Have fun, be safe, put on a good show.
After the show, these farm machines are finally put out to pasture. But if you think watching worn-out corn pickers do battle is strange, you won't believe this. Yes, those are old yellow school buses. And when the school districts declare them too beat up to carry the kids, the only place left to run them is on the Derby track.
Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the 2001 Cattaraugus County Fair.
The school bus derby is the centerpiece of the Cattaraugus County Fair, attracting fans from all over western New York State. The best way to cause some damage in a school bus demo is to hit where the cool kids used to sit, at the back of the bus. The winner of this derby is definitely going to need a trailer to get that bus home. And speaking of trailers, there's even a derby just for them. It's the Trailer Race of Destruction, the most smash-happy event around. If your hometown has an asphalt track, then maybe you've seen one. In this event, cars race around a track pulling trailers that can contain anything, a doghouse, an old camper, and maybe even a motorboat. And there's a method to this madness. The driver wants to nudge the trailer in front of him as it goes around a turn. This way, it'll spin out and hopefully put the car and the trailer out of the race. The downside is that if a driver gets in a good hit, a lot of debris comes bearing down on it. And at a trailer derby, there's always tons of wreckage flying around the track. So as a safety measure, the cars must retain their windshields to protect the drivers from getting hit. Watch as this driver slams on the brakes to avoid a stray camper. But he's too late, and his car slams into the camper and spins out. Unbelievably, the drivers walk away unscathed from the wreck. And when it's all done, the track looks like a tornado hit a mobile home park. Whether it's the crazy combines or the bizarre school bus derby, novelty events allow these once proud machines one final day in the sun. Coming up, what happens to these battle-scarred automobiles after they're scraped off the track?
Coming up next, they're massive, powerful, and raring to go. See what it takes to cross the finish line first in a truck and tractor pull race. An all-new Travel Channel presents, coming up next.
The new Silverado is here, now with quadra-steer four-wheel steering. It's the most maneuverable full-size pickup you can get. Silverado, the truck from Chevy.
So if I ran an online trading company, here's the way it would work. You'd make your trade, you pay the fee, a standard fee, no order handling fees or share limitations. I guess I'd run it like Ameritrade.
At Ameritrade, every online equity trade is $10.99, including stop and limit orders. No handling fees, no share limits, no gimmicks. Ameritrade, what's your share? Open an account at Ameritrade.com today and get 25 commission-free internet equity trades, and you could be trading the same day you apply.
Discover the value.
Coral calcium, only $7.50. Discover the quality. Glucosamine chondroitin, only $7.35.
Discover Puritan's Pride, the best way to buy the finest quality vitamins at incredible 70% savings.
Natural vitamin E, only $2.95.
All Puritan's Pride products have a full one-year money-back guarantee.
Natural vitamin C, only $1.15.
Call now for your free 70% off Puritan's Pride catalog and discover the smart way to buy vitamins.
Call now and receive a coupon for $5 off your first order.
Your pet's same exact heartworm and flea medications delivered to your home, saving you time and money.
It costs less than buying from my veterinarian.
It only takes a phone call.
I saved a visit to my vet's office. I didn't have to leave home.
PetMeds delivers my pet's medication right to my door.
It's cheaper and more convenient than buying from my vet.
I save time and money.
1-800-PetMeds. We deliver savings and convenience on HeartGuard, Advantage, Frontline, and all other pet medications. Call to order now or order online.
Finally, a formula that really works. Stamina RX. Stamina RX is the most potent sexual stimulant for men in the world. Gentlemen, if you're not performing to your full potential, then this is the product you've been looking for. No other sexual stimulant on the market can make you feel like this. In 30 minutes, you can be 18 again. Increase your size and make your endurance skyrocket. It's the strongest natural sexual stimulant on the market without the side effects. Stamina RX works well for people with diabetes and impotence. To order Stamina RX, call toll-free at 888-745-9538.
Need cash fast? Just pick up the phone now for up to $500. Qualify in 2 minutes or less. National Money Service can help you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
You're welcome. The money you need will be in your account tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Let us help you with unplanned car repair bills, medical bills, household repairs, or anything else you need money for. So if you need up to $500 before your next paycheck, we can help.
Call now.
Call National Money Service now.
Some of the worst aviation disasters in history. What went wrong and why? Join the Travel Channel as we search for the cause. Tuesday, From human factors to mechanical failure, we'll reveal how accident investigators unlock the mystery of airplane crashes. Could these tragedies have been prevented? Find out on Travel Channel Secrets. The premiere of Probable Cause begins Tuesday at 9, only on the Travel Channel. We're back with more Travel Channel Presents.
Every year, Demolition Derbies attract millions of fans from all around the country. They're hooked on the metal-crunching mayhem that these cars provide. But that mayhem comes with a price. At the end of the day, the cars are sometimes nothing more than heaps of mangled metal. But you'd be surprised at how much life is actually left in these battle-weary rides. In fact, many Derby cars are recycled and raced again. Wes Whitaker is a Derby driver and salvage yard owner. At his site in Earlville, Illinois, he takes beat-up cars, rips them apart, and then reuses the leftovers. Wes's place is the equivalent of a salvage yard theme park. His property contains over 200 cars, and many of them will see action in future derbies.
This one here has 29,000 miles on it. We might either restore this one, or we'll probably wind up derbying it sooner or later.
Today, Wes is unloading the battle-fatigued station wagon that he ran at a recent derby. Unfortunately, number 258 didn't come in on the money, but that doesn't mean that the car's parts are through.
We decided to scrap that one out, take all of our usable parts, our motor, our transmission, battery, radiator, everything that's left any good, and start over on another car.
Wes works with a small crew to dismantle his cars.
Okay, you ready? Yep, go.
The first thing that they do is remove the gas tank and the battery. Then Wes will pull any reusable metal off the body.
We're going to cut this bumper off because we'll save it for another race. It's still real good shape.
Wes uses an acetylene torch to cut the metal frame. The motor is in good shape, so Wes lifts it out and carefully lays it down on top of an old tire. He then takes the rest of the car over to his favorite piece of equipment, his car crusher. It delivers 350 tons of pressure that can pulverize a car in seconds. Wes puts the vehicle in the crusher while his son Bobby mans the controls. The hydraulic cylinders clamp down on the once proud war wagon, reducing it to mere junk. Wes now picks up the 2-foot-high former car and takes it over to his huge trailer where it joins all the other pieces of junk. He'll drive the truck down to a recycling center in Peoria, Illinois, where it'll be sold for scrap metal. The fate of car number 258 marks the end of another pre-1977 body, the Derby driver's chassis of choice. And as more of these old relics end up in the junkyard, the face of Demolition Derbies will slowly begin to change.
When you can't find any old cars, the 73, 70s, 76s, we're going to be racing minivans and little Nissan Sentras. I'm not looking forward to that day.
In the meantime, there's still places to find fresh meat. And thanks to the information superhighway, Derby drivers can now search for a car on the front lawns of America by simply surfing the web.
Ooh, there's a good one, 73. Let's call that guy down. I'll write his. I found my car on the internet. My brother has a good website, and we have fingers out there, and we found a car out in Nebraska, and we drove out, and we hauled her home.
There are thousands of sites on the web that provide Derby drivers with all they need to put together a winning car. A new generation of Derby drivers can even compete on their own collision course without having to look for a car. A company called Auxiliary Powers has come up with a virtual Demolition Derby game, and they haven't left anything out. You can even roll over a car just like in Metal Mayhem. As times change, so too does the Derby. But the real excitement is still in the hunt and on the track. And as anyone on the circuit will tell you, there's nothing quite like the crash-banging fun a real Derby delivers.
It is pretty exciting. You get to see what the world's really about when you get into demo derbies. It's not your everyday drivers. These guys are out for blood and money. And I tell you, they take it serious, too.
As long as there are cars to drive and people who like to crash them, there will always be a place for the steel-scraping, machine-breaking spectacle known as the Demolition Derby. So keep your eyes on the road, your seatbelts fastened, and your pedal to the metal.
Hi, Tracy Gallagher for the Travel Channel here in spectacular Las Vegas, Nevada. Did you know that this was once illegal in Vegas? Well, lucky for me, it's not now.